Waiting for these, all the, making sure audio is in and picking up good audio here. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, sounds good. Sounds like we're good. All right. Thank you all, and oh, my hair's not in a good order today, so trying to go live in two spaces at once here. Hello, you all. Thank you all for watching. Welcome back to Breathing is Highly Dangerous. This is Emmanuel here, and today I will be discussing the Arbery case or trial. This is one I followed more closely than the more recent Rittenhouse case. They have just now come back with a verdict for the original person, the McMichael. I guess his name is. The father and son, they had, in their pickup truck, chased after Ahmaud Arbery, presuming he was of some suspect in criminal activity that had been happening in the area recently. Father and son chase him in the truck, then a guy pulls out of his driveway and tries to run him off the road. As well, and then they sort of pin him. They stop him from running his way. Ahmaud keeps trying to disengage from them, doesn't want any confrontation, and they keep chasing him, keep following him, believing they are entitled to his time and an explanation of his whereabouts for some reason or not. And what ended up transpiring is Ahmaud then when given the opportunity and with limited choices to either keep running while he was already trying to disengage more than 3 times, tried to disengage from and run away from someone he didn't know. The man, the son, McMichael, then used his shotgun and shot Arbery, and after Ahmaud struck him a few times, trying to defend himself, trying to make sure he went home alive. But the other man was equipped with a shotgun, and the father himself was equipped with a handgun, and so they were prepared to protect themselves from a guy they knew nothing about and had no right to know about, but due to their own presumptions and preconceived ideas about who they believed he was, without confirmation, they took it upon themselves to act as law enforcement or a vigilante and took this young man's life. The verdict came in that they were the son McMichael. I can't remember his name. Was guilty of malice murder and felony murder. The father, the older guy that didn't take a shot, was guilty of felony murder and then all the other lower charges. So the son McMichael was guilty of every charge that they had against him. It was aggravated, lots of stuff. There was a bunch of charges there. You can search that up yourself. And then the father McMichael was guilty of every charge besides malice murder. And then the other guy that was in the pickup truck, he's not a McMichael. He's I forget his name, but his defense called into question his intelligence. So he was found not guilty of the malice, not guilty of the felony, I believe, but he was found guilty of one of the murder charges and one of the kidnapping charges, but not the. There was only a few of them that he wasn't found guilty of, which in his defense, uh, I don't know if I would have even charged him with murder. I understand his actions potentially motivated the other individuals to take even more further steps. However, his actions alone did not necessarily do that. I think he should have gotten to the charges of hostage, like the relative to kidnapping charge, and all the lower counts. I I was I didn't pull up the website. I was looking at.
Count three. 004. McMichael Gibbs versus William R. Bryan. Case number CR.
Brian. What? Brian.
2000433. Jury verdict 4. Count 1. Malice murder. We, the jury, find the defendant William R. Bryan not guilty.
I don't know if you can hear my
Count
television.
2. Felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant William R. Bryan not guilty. Count 3. Felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant William R. Bryan guilty. Count 4.
Oh, so he was found guilty of felony murder. I don't necessarily agree with that myself. I hope they appeal that charge for him specifically.
The jury find the defendant William R. Bryan guilty. Count 5. Felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant William R. Bryan guilty. Count 6. Aggravated assault. We, the jury, find the defendant William R. Bryan not guilty.
Aggravated assault.
Count 7.
Okay.
Aggravated assault. We, the jury, find the defendant William R. Bryan guilty.
That was okay.
Count 8. False imprisonment. We,
Guilty.
the jury, find the defendant William R. Bryan guilty.
Okay.
Count 9. Criminal attempt to commit a felony. We, the jury, find the defendant William R. Bryan guilty.
Okay.
Signed this 24th day of November by the foreperson.
See, because my opinions about the legal system as a whole, regardless of race, regardless of situation, is that prison time is arbitrary, as known by law. Every case are actors. Whoever can argue the best lawyer, the lawyer that has the most influence over the jury, is going to be the one that succeeds, the one that's most effective. The evidence, as relevant as it should be and could be, especially, that's why they say beyond a reasonable doubt. Even if someone is innocent, one can be made or convinced to believe they are guilty by perception. Through perception and how the evidence is treated. By telling a story. Which would be, so everything that is not caught on film considering that witness testimony is one of the most unreliable things one can accept. Every story told within a courtroom is circumstantial. And you have to rely on what people admit to and the things that they say, right? Because in this trial particularly, there is a few defining moments of admission of guilt within the in two of the what do you call them, defendant's case, they made some very, very, very uh, out there remarks. Um, the older McMichael had stated, I think Greg McMichael, I don't know. The older McMichael, the father McMichael, had stated that he was going to blow Ahmaud Arbery's effing head off, right? He told him, "Stop, and I'll blow your effing head off." But they were just trying to ask him questions. So, you know, Ahmaud Arbery's running, not trying to engage, and then Brian, he had said that he wished he ran him off the had run him off the road or hit him with his car, which I think I do believe that in itself, right? I think the lawyer defended him pretty well with that statement, meaning because he knew he was dead. So I do feel like he meant that I wish I would have hit him rather than him having been shot and killed. Hit him and maybe made him fall to the ground, even though it still would have been a felony. It still would have been false imprisonment. There still would have been jail time. I still would have wanted jail time for all three of them, for just the intention and the gall and the entitlement to stop this supposed, assailant of a crime they did not see committed. So there's really, the defense did a good job. They were terribly challenged and they had no choice but to attack and make light of these defendants' actions and attack Arbery himself, so they could do the best for the defendant. They're doing their part to try to get their client off scot-free. And the fact that when this case was initially brought to the system, they were claiming self-defense, and they would have gotten off. And the original attorney that had taken this case, she's now being brought up on charges, which is a good thing, right? But give me a second here. That's all right. I'm still here online. Yeah, Uh-oh. And the prosecutor, I don't know her name, but both of them, especially the white woman, she did a very good job telling the story, laying out the facts. And she looks like she's married. She has a ring on her finger, but the way she was giving the evidence and the way she cross-examined, it was very attractive. I will say that. That's something that it was very nice to see that defense. It played out that well, and but it's also just sickening that it is all like the defense is. these sorts of things show you that these processes and the way that these things are structured to put in order to get people in order for people to pay for a crime that they've committed, right? Everything's just a movie, like it's a TV show, it's a television show. It's go through directors and producers, and then you get your actors, and then you get the set, right? There's rules for all these things. The rules of engagement. There's certain language you have to use. There's certain lines you have to say. All these things. Everyone has their role and their part, right? It's a little, and it's for. It seems like they're playing dress up, like it's just theater, literally, and I don't think I'm the only one that compares it to theater, because you see, even the everything in government is just people are playing dress up and playing pretend because these authorities, right? I understand the want to have a higher process, like due process. I'm fine with that, making sure that the evidence supports the claim. However, who are you to say when someone should be forgiven, when someone has done enough time because of the differences everyone has? Like, why is it so arbitrary? Is there a reason for that? I don't know. What return more followers to join video? I don't know why that just happened. Interesting. I'm happy. I'm pleased with the outcome. I'm not happy about it in the least. It's an unfortunate situation regardless, because and this is me considering that if I was Ahmaud Arbery, I'd probably be dead too. Maybe or maybe not. But also, if I was in that same situation, I would have played things differently. But that's not to say that there's no right for the. I don't know what gave them the gall. They had just this sense of entitlement to someone else's time. They thought they were trying to be so heroic. For what? They had no claim to anything. And the more that they spoke, I'm like, oh. So they were just playing like everyone else plays. They're just stupid and playing this game. And they nearly got away with it. This case no way compares to the Rittenhouse case. The only way it compares is that someone died, a gun was used, a white male was the person that killed. But aside from that, Don't make comparisons. Don't say, oh, they let him off, so they gotta do this. Don't do that. I know some people are small-brained like that. That they'll say, oh, we lost one, now they give us this win. Don't do that. Don't do that. Look at the case. Don't. Matter of fact, be inside the case. What? I don't know why my live ended. Oh no, it just ended. What? Jesus Christ. And when it's so strange to even because to even be in this situation would require someone to be entitled, such as this, to have that preconceived notion about it would be prejudice nonetheless. It would absolutely be prejudice. For if I put myself in this situation, I could not remove the prejudice from the McMichaels because they were being prejudiced, because they believed they had some right to stop Ahmaud Arbery that was running on the street thinking he was running from a scene. Like, you cannot remove the prejudice from this case. Will I say racism? I didn't see any evidence of that. I don't know them. If there was evidence presented that they were affiliated with any of those groups, any race baiting groups, I didn't see any of that. I did see that Brian was also taken into custody for child welfare crimes, or child endangerment, or child pornography, or something like that. I saw that, which is that's something else, completely different, separate. But what I saw here is prejudice with unconcerned. It's like you don't even consider the mental. You don't consider the state of the world. You don't consider. Yo, it's like, where do you get off? On it's astounding the reasons they tried to come up with in their head. Even if he had stolen, even if he did come from the crime scene, imagine Ahmaud Arbery was guilty of the crimes that that they suspected him of. Imagine that. Do you understand that they would still be going to prison for the same exact crimes? Yeah, they should be. They should have been charged with the same exact crimes. Would that have played out? Maybe or maybe not. But do you understand that? Their position in society, their rights do not supersede his rights even if he was guilty of what they thought he was guilty of, but they had no witness to that. They did not see him do it. Even if he was running from committing a crime, they didn't see him. Therefore, they have no right to stop him in his way. And he is under no obligation to make contact with you. This is entitlement at its best. And I've experienced similar situations of people thinking I am something I'm not, just because of their preconceived notion or prejudice against black people. Like in large instances that have put my life in danger, and small instances where it's small stuff, whereas people assume my political point of view. When my political point of view will object yours, but it will also object everything you're objecting. And the things that we might agree with in the political field are because they are not naturally political. They are made so as a bargaining chip. They are taken hold of so that you can separate. I'm not with the segregation of truth. Truth in my mind comes together cohesively. I don't take truths that I like and then leave others for the recycling or for the trash, for the rubbish. I take all the truth and apply it with my life. I don't separate things like that. I keep looking up my website, trustalltruth.com. I take issue with most things within society, not just the things that are popular to talk about. Of course, most of the things that are popularly talked about are also problems, but what's the cause of those problems? That's what I like to think about. Think about the thing that should be targeted specifically that could solve many of the problems that we face. The issue with that is most people do not want to address what the true problem is because it would require too much change of them. It would require them to reconsider their entitlements, reconsider their comforts, reconsider their lifestyle as a whole. Most are not willing. And the most willing are looked as if they are nothing, as if they are unrealistic. What I will tell you is, I've purposely kept myself from many things, many popular topics in politics. When things do come across my mind, when things do come across my view, it's just that. It's everything that is being talked about publicly is surface. If I care about it, I will investigate deeply and into the dark spaces that they don't want seen, that are available for my consumption. These researches have enabled me to be so and completely disinterested in what people popularly talk about, because I already understand the deeper implications of it and the origins. So I don't care about your topical opinions about it when I understand the facts about the situation. I don't care about your feelings on the matter when I understand the facts of the matter. My feelings don't influence reality. They only influence my perception of reality. My perception of reality influences how I interact with reality, which then changes reality. But the reality I have no control over does not change because of my perception. And I understand that fully and completely in everything that I do. In everything that everyone else does. Now, resources make you capable of restructuring your reality, resources meaning capital, in a way that most cannot. And that is something I understand deeply and wholly. Deeply and completely, I mean. Which is an unfortunate circumstance because of the limitations of said resources. And the ambiguousness of not and the method of receiving the resources are the things that can, this feeling of necessity of this resource is slavery in itself. Slavitude of the mind, servitude. You're indentured forever. You never become free from that. I talked about that in my last live about the perception of freedom, and it's just a package. So if anyone listening, which very few do, but I will continue speaking the truth. It's unfortunate that not many people like the way I package it, or my personality is not, effectively communicating with, that's what it is. Because of my disinterest, it makes me not appealable to many people. And my disassociation from certain social, advents, right? I don't care to message people online because that's not my preferred method of communication. I try, but it's not my bag. It's not my bag, not my preference. Useful in some cases, and I have gotten better. But that will never become my main priority, ever. And for some, that is the only means of communication, which is what it is. I'll try my best to reach those people, but because that's not a method I'm prioritizing, I don't have that expectation of reaching them. And it's unfortunate that truth is not the most popular thing. It's comfort. Comfort is the most popular form of information, communication, is saying something, telling things that make you feel good, that don't challenge you, things that you don't have to work hard for. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. The life of Ahmaud Arbery was taken, and the lives of the McMichaels and father and son and Brian, part of their life will be now taken away from them. Is it even? Is it fair? Is it justice? The government would like you to think so. Only fairness is eye for an eye. However, we're discouraged from doing things such as that. Why is that? Will these men have the opportunity for parole? Don't know. Don't really care. My presumption is quite possibly he might be granted parole or given the option of parole. Quite possibly. What does this change for the nature of prosecution and convictions in the future? Does it change anything in terms of society? Well, maybe for the entitled folks watching, it might be a wake-up call of, hey, I can't just expect someone to stop when I want them to. My rights do not supersede theirs because of my perception. But will it change? It could change immediately, but will it? No. I expect nothing, hopeful for the best. While I understand that there will be a little to no effect, that's reality. There's too much money in division. That's the truth. If people were to come together as one, guess what would happen? There would be no monetary system. There would be only trade. And that's a fact. That's just a fact. There would be no necessity for money. Our number one resource would be our time, which it is, regardless of money. And our second would be the second resource would be our capabilities. We will be valued for what we can do and are willing to do, not just what we're, allowed to do. All right. Thank you all for stopping by, watching. I'll clip this up. Be blessed, stay blessed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. Breathing is highly dangerous.